Star Wars Andor Season 1 has just ended. Its final episode just aired. I have some great news and some bad news. Polly here on The Latino Slant. Please make sure you are subscribed. Please watch the entire video and remember to like, comment, smash the like. It would be so kind and even more kind if you can send us a super chat, PayPal, and all that good jazz. It's in the video description box down below. Now, Andor Season 1 is finally done. The last episode has aired. It is called Rick's Road. Episode 12 of the first season, which I hear are going to be 2 seasons in total of Andor. So here's what I want to do in the video. I'm going to give you my spoilerific review, and I'm going to give you the bad news afterwards. Okay, so I got good news and I have some not so good news, bad news. So we're going to do the good news first and hit that bad news at the end. So make sure you are watching the whole video. Okay, good news. I cannot state enough how excellent this first season of Andor has been, and how they have just really incredibly stuck the landing. Not just this last episode, but the last, I'd say, 4 episodes are just remarkable. There's just no other word than that for these last 4 episodes. Every single character has resolution. Every single character is going through such conflict, and most conflicts are resolved with hopes of continuation for more. Now, let's go with our big characters. Okay, what we've witnessed in Andor in the last 4 episodes and the season finale with the leading character played by Diego Luna is a thief, murderer, very selfish, very, at times childish person become a hero of his people, of his loved ones, and now for the rebellion. It's such a high note as far as his progression throughout the entire season of his character that he ends in this final episode with Luthen saying, count me in the rebellion, and I am all in. It brings gravitas to not only Rogue One but also Star Wars New Hope. And so that is the big character for me. That is the big payoff for me with Andor. Now with Luthen, you see just how much he's willing to sacrifice in these last final 4 episodes. And really the last episode, he's more of a witness to people rebelling, and the people that we're talking about here are Ferrix, the people of Ferrix, and their celebration of the funeral of Marva on Rick's Road, which is why it's titled Rick's Road. This is where, for that planet, that is the moment in time that they openly rebel against the Empire, and it's fantastic. There's a great speech that Marva has, a la Tony Stark, after she's passed away, in a hologram, telling everyone to take up arms against the Empire in front of the Empire's garrison. It's so dramatic. It's so written so well, which is another character tragedy, and yet fulfillment in her purpose for season 1. In these last episodes, obviously one of the most harrowing and heartbreaking moments is Andor finding out his mother did indeed die and he wasn't there for her. That is the ending of episode 11. And again, I encourage you just to go into these episodes. A lot of people have complained about the first 6 episodes of this season, but let me tell you something. There is no payoff at all without those first 6 episodes, and I like those first episodes a lot. There is probably in all, as far as the season, 2 major plot points that I had problems with, and 1 episode I thought that just should have been swallowed up in the episode after that. But other than that, killer first season. Okay, so let's keep on going with these characters. Bix, the girlfriend and friend, you find out how not only loyal is she to Andor, but just how much torture she's willing to take the Empire. I mean, you thought that what they were gonna show with Princess Leia in New Hope was something. She goes through it, and it's really frightening, very disturbing. And Adria Arjona just does an incredible job with this. And yes, she's saved by Andor. Ah, what? A man saving a woman? It's unbelievable, but it actually happened in a Star Wars show, which was a great resolution there to get to. He basically breaks her free out of that prison. There's a lot of distraction with Rick's Rhodes rebelling for Andor to be able to get in there with somewhat ease. So that is Rick's. Other characters that are just fantastic. Let's go to Mon Mothma. So she had to make a deal with the devil the last couple of episodes, basically to cover her expenses and to cover her nefarious, dealings with her money. She agreed to a arranged marriage with her daughter, who, strangely enough, started getting into the rituals and the traditions of her homeland. Which was kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to explore that a little bit. It was a little one-dimensional, whereas this the daughter was a little one-dimensional at first, just being a complaining brat in the first few episodes, and now kind of like turning around and taking up some of the traditions and rituals of her home planet. I would have liked to seen a scene where it shows her why she's doing that. So yeah, makes a deal with the devil, with this kind of like gangster, gambler, to sell off, or just an arranged marriage. We see that very briefly in this final episode. In fact, Mon Mothma doesn't have any lines, but obviously she's very troubled. But as far as having to do this, but she takes the money. She's going to take the money to Dira. Let's go to the Empire side. Now, we all know that Dira is just a very talented, very dedicated employee of the Empire, and she is also very ambitious. So here we see her in Ferrix trying to run things, and she gets literally gets injured in the battle. She gets overtaken, and Syril, who had been ghosting her, or who had been shadowing her from Coruscant, saves her. So they have a moment, and their relationship is so bizarre because he actually has been feeding off her I want to say her alpha energy. It got him out of his despair to where he's reinvested in the Empire and hunting down Andor. But here he saves Dira. So that was a really cool scene. Other characters that are wrapped up are Val and Sita. Now, they have a loving relationship in the rebellion, but obviously Sita has made it very clear the rebellion is number one. Val, which I think is great, is you're seeing a lot of layers with her as far as how you just how she can put on a really tough exterior, but several times we've seen her vulnerability crack, almost break her, even to that point where she paused for a second before going through the heist a few episodes back. Here we see just how much she is in love with Sita, and just trying to come to her aid, making sure that she's all right. Good job. I really like this character of Val, and the actor who was in Game of Thrones as well. So I have to tell you again, this speaks to Gilroy's writing and kind of building out not the world, not the universe of Star Wars, but this world of Ferrix and its relationship with the Empire, which I just thought was brilliantly done. You just keep cutting away these layers and layers, and the culture and these people, fantastic. And again, these last 4 episodes I cannot highly recommend enough. Now, one little tidbit at the end. There is a mid-credits scene where you see these kind of like spider-like machines, a la Matrix, putting in parts that Andor and other prisoners were making in the prison. And we had guessed it was probably parts for the Death Star, and yes, it is a fantastic mid-credit scene where you see all of that. So you see you go from the personal to the conflicts to this world to the Star Wars universe, just with that montage of them putting in the last parts of the Death Star. So again, the good news is this is a fantastic series, unlike anything else that Disney Star Wars has put up at all. Better than Rogue One for me. So that's the good news. Here's not so good news. Star Wars Andor is still part of Disney, and that doesn't look like it's going to change for a while. Disney, if you are hearing me, you don't want to be part of this bad news, because the realness of it all is that you have created years and years of bad will with your OG Star Wars fans, to where they have either tuned out of Andor completely, just won't watch it because of the bad will, or they maybe are so apathetic they've seen a couple episodes, which is why your own creator of Andor, Tony Gilroy, is totally surprised by the reaction of the Star Wars fans community. So that is the bad news, that you have to go through Disney to watch this Andor series. So that's all I have for right now. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you seen Andor? Are you gonna see it after my review? I have reviews of the earlier episodes all the way up from season 1, I believe, episode 1 to about episode 6 or 7. All right, mi gente, wherever you're at, please keep your slant muy fuerte, and yes, may the force be with you.